And hello everybody and welcome. I know I've been off the air now for almost a week as I was in my Atlanta office, so missed the opportunity of doing this. We had to get Spreaker set up there but didn't get the chance to. So here we are on Saturday, and again, because I drove most of last night, I didn't get a chance to get up early enough to do this, so I decided to talk today to you about sleep. Sleep. We're going to get involved in an article that comes out of St. Louis University, actually Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis. Happens to be the university where I took some studies on aromatherapy a while back. So we're going to get started here in just 1 minute. Stay tuned. The information you hear on the Nutrition Shop Health Talk with Dr. Lynn is strictly educational and is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. Any healthcare decision should be discussed with your health professional. And now, here is Dr. Lynn. I love the fact that I introduced myself. But as we do all the time, especially on weekends, we're going to start out with our national anthem. This article that I'm going to quote from, October 20th, 3 days ago, comes out of the journal called Brain. The Brain. There's actually a journal called that. Not National Enquirer, Brain. Here's the first opening line. I want your opinion on this. Like so many other good things in life, sleep is best in moderation. So I'll give you a second to think about that. Because I think most of you think, well, God, I need a lot more than I got. But how about on the other end of the spectrum? Do you know anybody that just can't get up, that needs 12 hours every day, i.e. your kids? Well, this article is dealing with a multi-year study of older adults. Again, looking at the point of, in the elderly, when depression sets in, boredom, stress, bad diet, and you can go down the whole list, and even pre-Alzheimer's, that we tend to oversleep. So I'm going to read to you, but I'm going to give you the takeaway because today I'm going to talk about our prep called Sleep Time. You know, if we go back in time 15 years or so, where I got together with Dr. Jim LaValle, University of Cincinnati, and we put together the pieces of a prep called Stress Redux, which eventually moved over when I was working with Jamie Dorley to come up with a prep called Sleep Time. It's going to be one of our top 3 most dispensed nutraceuticals. Personally, I take it every single night, and I've talked to a number of people that just swear by it because it enhances your capability of sleeping to the maximum of what your brain needs. Like many other good things in life, sleep is best in moderation. A multi-year study of older adults found that both short and long sleepers experience greater cognitive decline than people who slept a moderate amount, even when the effects of early Alzheimer's disease were taken into account. So those that didn't get enough sleep, those that got too much sleep. Where's that magic number? 7 to 7.5 hours. Let's go 6.5 to 7.5. Poor sleep and Alzheimer's disease are both associated with cognitive decline, and separating out the effects of each has proven challenging. By tracking cognitive function in a large group of older adults over several years and analyzing it against levels of Alzheimer-related proteins and measures of brain activity during sleep. The researchers generated crucial data to help untangle the complicated relationships among sleep, Alzheimer's, and cognitive function. And it's interesting because just this week I was working with a 20-year-old in college that I said to her, she had a multiple number of health issues, but she said, if I could help you with one thing, what would it be? And she said, to help me be better cognitively. So we got into a discussion. How do you sleep? Oh, I sleep good, she said. What time do you normally go to bed? Oh, between 1 and 2. And what time do you get up? Well, it depends on classes. Sometimes at 6 or 7. So there's nights you get very little sleep. And those days you don't have until an afternoon class, you sleep too much? The findings were published October 20th in the journal Brain. The findings could aid efforts to help keep people's minds sharp as they age. It's been challenging to determine how sleep and different stages of Alzheimer's disease are related. But that's what you need to know to start designing interventions, said first author Brendan Lucy, MD, Associate Professor of Neurology at Washington University's Sleep Medicine Center. Our study suggests that there's a middle range or a sweet spot for total sleep time where cognitive performance was stable over time. Short and long sleep times were associated with worse cognitive performance, perhaps due to insufficient sleep or, and this is the crucial factor, poor sleep hygiene, poor sleep quality. I have a lot of people that say, yeah, I sleep pretty well. Well, how do you feel when you get up? Oh, I can't get up, I can't move, I can't get operating. So I say, do you feel refreshed when you wake up? 9 out of 10? No. Alzheimer's is the main cause of cognitive decline in older adults. Did you know that? 70% of all dementia cases are Alzheimer's. It used to be the other way around. 30% were Alzheimer's. Now it's 70%. Poor sleep is the most common symptom of the disease and a driving force that accelerates the disease's progression. There's a lot of disease states out there. But now that Alzheimer's has made the top 10 list of causes of death in this country, do I have your attention? Can you do an honest assessment? I don't care what that little Fitbit watch says. You make a self-assessment. What time do you lay your head down? What time do you get up? And do you feel rested? Because if you don't, we need to talk. To tease apart the separate effects of sleep and Alzheimer's disease and cognition, Dr. Lucy and colleagues turned to volunteers to participate in the Alzheimer's studies through the university's Charles F. and Joanne Knight Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. Such volunteers undergo annual clinical and cognitive assessments and provide a blood sample to be tested for the high-risk Alzheimer's genetic variant ApoE4. First time in the last year that we actually have a blood test that can isolate ApoE4 in your blood, which is a telltale sign that you, dear friend, are progressing toward Alzheimer's. For this study, the participants also provided samples of cerebrospinal fluid to measure levels of Alzheimer's proteins. I didn't know that until I read this article. I didn't realize that we could do a spinal tap and actually pull Alzheimer's proteins. They each slept with a tiny EEG monitor strapped to their foreheads for 4 to 6 nights to measure brain activity during sleep. In total, the researchers obtained sleep and Alzheimer's data on 100 participants whose cognitive function had been monitored for an average of 4.5 years. 88 out of the 100, 88% had no cognitive impairments. 11 were very mildly impaired, and only 1 had mild cognitive impairment. The average age was 75 at the time of the study. The researchers found a U-shaped relationship between sleep and cognitive decline. Overall, cognitive scores declined for the groups that slept less than 4.5 hours or more than 6.5. I find that hard to believe. And even when you look at this, I don't know that I'd consider this a good study. when 88% had no cognitive impairments at all, so you got to take them out of the study. That leaves 11. So 11% of this group, and really only one had any sort of mild cognitive impairment. I ask many of my patients, how's your sleep, says senior co-author Bo Anses. Anses treats patients with dementia and other neurodegenerative conditions at the Barnes Jewish Hospital. Often patients report that they're not sleeping well. Often once their sleep issues are treated, they have improvements in cognition. Physicians who are seeing patients with cognitive complaints should ask them about the quality of their sleep. This is, listen up, a modifiable factor. Trust me on this one. It's got to be one of the most common issues I deal with every day with patients. Children, teenagers, adults. It's a big deal. It really is. It's a real big deal. If you're struggling with that, we have lots of tools that we can make a big difference for you. Give us a call at 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900. And I promise, starting on Monday, we'll get back into a regular routine of getting the radio shows out there. God bless you, folks. Have a great, healthy weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Take care.